Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidil Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. The topic of the day is, what are the things on which zakat is imperative, and what are the things on which a Muslim doesn't have to pay zakat? So there are basically five things. Number one, if you have gold, silver, or any currency for more than 1 year, lunar year, 355 days, then you have to pay zakah if it is more than the nisab, which is worth 87.48 grams of gold. And remember that in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, gold was a currency, silver was a currency, and there were no paper notes at that time. Now in our times we have paper currency. So if the assets are for more than 1 lunar year, and if the assets are more than the nisab, then zakat is fard on all currencies and gold and silver, and also bonds, halal bonds and halal shares of the companies. Number two, zakat on agricultural produce is also a fard. We shall talk about agricultural produce later on. The rate differs, and the nisab of agricultural produce is also different from the nisab of currency, gold and silver. Number three, that if you have a sheep farm, camel farm, goat farm, and you are raising animals, then you have to pay zakah every year if the assets are more than the nisab. And the nisab varies for animals. I shall speak later about it. Number four, that on urud al-tijara there is zakah. The commodities that are saleable, the zakah is an obligation every year. If the business assets are more than the nisab, and the nisab of business assets is the value of 87.5 grams of gold. And lastly, on treasures and mines, if you get income from them, you have to pay zakat. So we said on cash and currency, gold and silver, a Muslim has to pay zakat after 1 complete year, and after calculation that it is more than the nisab. And on agricultural produce, on the day of harvest. And we said on animals, if they are more than the nisab. And then we said that on business assets and the sellable commodities of the business, there is zakah, And lastly, we said, if people have mines and they get produce, and if they have assets for hidden treasures, then they have to pay zakat on them. Now let's talk about those things on which there is no zakah. Number one, all personal things that are used by yourself, there is zakah. For example, your own house in which you are living, and your own car which you are using, and the furniture, and the fridge, and the air conditioner, and the freezer, and whatever you have, a lawnmower, for example, or dust cleaner, vacuum, or all those equipments you have and furniture, there is no zakah on personal items that are used by you and that are owned by you. However, it must be mentioned here that a Muslim should live a modest life, and he should not spend a lot of money on his personal things. Personal needs are very important, but sometimes we cross all limits and we enter into luxuries. For example, I need a car for myself, fine. But why am I buying another car? And why I have 4 cars? And every day I use a different one. Why? My wife may have her own car. My daughter may have her own car. My son may have his own car. But why should I have more than one? Similarly, we buy many things for our house which we do not use. I have 10 pairs of shoes, but I want to buy 11th. So living a lavish life with 200 pairs of clothes, with 20 pairs of shoes, and so on. This is not at all desirable in Islam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may question us on the day of judgment if we live a lavish life and if we buy things which we do not really need them. 1 car is enough. Why am I buying 4 cars? And why I am driving every day a different car? It is halal, but why am I doing so? So this point has to be noted. So anything of personal use is not a zakatable item. However, if these things are for sale, for example, if you have a shop where you sell vehicles, then on all your vehicle assets you have to pay zakah because they are sellable commodities. Similarly, you have a furniture shop or you have an AC shop. You sell ACs or fridge or vacuum cleaners. So you have so much of assets. You have 500 tools in your stock for sale. So that is zakatable thing. And it is said that on pearls and ornaments there is no zakah. But if they are for sale, and some of the diamonds and some of the pearls are very, very expensive, more expensive than gold. Then in all such cases, zakat is payable, except if you have something for your own personal use. And there are certain scholars who believe that there must be zakat on those ornaments of pearls and stones if they are in large quantity, and if it is more than one, and it is rarely used. There is no zakat on tools except if they are for sale and you have a tool shop. So those tools shall be considered zakatable. But tools of personal use in the house, they are not subject to zakah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.